a rugged paradise where mountains crash into the Indian Ocean. South Africa's Overstrand region draws developers and weekenders from Cape Town, just an hour away to the quaint village of Pringle Bay. Retirees and wealthy Europeans flock here, lured by the mild climate and stunning views, but this dreamscape hides a tense reality. It's also home to Chacma baboons. These unpredictable primates, roaming freely with no set schedule, create constant friction with human residents. Spotting them is a gamble, sometimes high in the mountains, sometimes deep in the valleys. They move on their terms, emerging at dawn to descend into the village, setting the stage for conflict that keeps everyone on edge. When the baboons arrive, chaos follows. The troop, led by a battle-scarred alpha, scatters through Pringle Bay, treating houses like playgrounds and pools like their personal oasis. A flag goes up to warn the village, but the baboons, undeterred, bring a mix of mischief and menace. Young ones play while adults raid, stirring excitement and unease. This uneasy coexistence fuels growing tension as humans grapple with the baboon's relentless presence. In South Africa, Chacma baboons cause significant damage, with estimates suggesting they destroy crops and property worth millions annually, up to USD 1.5 million in some regions, pushing communities toward drastic measures like baboon hunting to control their numbers, a controversial step in this volatile dance between man and beast. Frustrated by the escalating raids, the community turns to skilled hunters to confront the baboons at their dawn feeding grounds near Betty's Bay. A group of hunters, led by a seasoned tracker, gather near Betty's Bay, where dense fynbos bushes intertwine with rocky outcrops, a hotbed of Chacma baboons. Eyes strain to scan the slopes where the baboons begin to descend the mountain at dawn in search of food. They are armed with .308 Winchester rifles for precise and tranquilizer Ticker T3S, loaded with Eterfine pellets to arrest their calculated movements. While baboon hunting, hunters rely on stealth techniques, using rocks and bushes as cover, often crawling close to the ground to avoid detection. The .38 rifles were equipped with silencers to limit noise and were only used for long-range shots when needed to eliminate, while tranquilizer bullets required close-range shots within 100 feet to induce rapid sedation.
Straight down. Boom.
During the baboon hunting, the hunters kept reminding each other that dawn hunts near feeding areas like Betty's Bay were crucial, when the baboons were hungriest and most aggressive. To outsmart them, the team used motion sensor cameras to map their routes and GPS collars to track the relocated baboons. A single, perfectly placed shot from the .308 rifle brought down the charging baboon, marking a hard-earned victory for the hunters. Meanwhile, the baboons, with their intelligence at its peak, are at their most active, acting under social pressure to find food before returning to the highlands. Traps made of steel cages, baited with ripe mangoes and equipped with infrared sensors, are carefully hidden in the bushes to catch the reckless young ones who lead the raids. The strategy is very precise, moving the troublemakers or, if necessary, eliminating the aggressive leaders to protect the village. Is the baboon troop under control, or is the leader retaliating? The hunt intensified as the sun rose, testing the hunters' skills against the cunning of the baboons. The baboons learned quickly to remember the location of the traps, which was the most difficult part, forcing the hunters to constantly change their trap setting strategies. When a cage suddenly snapped shut around a young baboon, The team spirits soared, fueling hope that their efforts might finally turn the tide. As the dust settles, the moral weight of the operation weighs heavily on the shoulders. The culling of baboons, intelligent animals with strong family-like social bonds, feels like a betrayal of the wild spirit of Pringle Bay. The raids, which cost South African communities up to $1,500,000 0 cents a year, are motivated by survival instinct, not malice. Is there a better way to deal with them? Humane measures have been adopted, with conservationists using air horns and pepper spray to scare the baboons away, while baboon wardens with radio trackers lead the herds to remote feeding grounds like the Kogelberg Biosphere Reserve.
In the towering mountains of the African savannah, where rocky hills meet dense forests, a tense battle is being waged between humans and baboons. Here, hunters gather and carefully plan their moves to outsmart these dangerous baboons. Baboons, native to this rugged terrain, are mostly ground dwellers but adept climbers who can disappear into the trees when danger lurks. Their loud growls and shrill screams echo through the valleys, challenging their pursuers. Living in tight-knit groups, led by dominant males, they roam the land on a non-omnivorous diet of plants and insects, destroying everything and leaving nothing untouched. Since then, the use of fruit baits, perfected over years of research by South African game organisations, has proven to be a game changer for controlling baboon populations. By 2015, the technique, combined with a carefully concealed hunting tent, had achieved an impressive 85% success rate, first demonstrated in the mountain valleys of the Eastern Cape. The setup is simple but purposeful. The hunter's tent is set up 15 yards from the bait pile to attract unsuspecting baboons. As expected, the baboons are drawn to the sweet scent of the fruit and approach with cautious curiosity. However, they will not detect the hunter, because the shelter is designed to match the natural color of the forest. This is considered a careful calculation by the hunter to prevent pests. Additionally, the success of each hunt is a combination of both the use of the gun and a relaxed state of mind. His movements are carefully considered as he checks every part of the weapon, from the secure loading to the fine adjustments of the scope. In every hunt, the South African authorities prepare many countermeasures. Using the bow, this hunter emphasized that Matthew's Title 38 is his favorite bow, with a neutral reflex design, 7-inch stand height, and short limbs that provide exceptional stability and speed. Equipped with CBE Axis target sights and Hamskea target hybrid mounts, the Title 38 offers reliability and versatility, making it an ideal choice for taking down baboons at close range. Furthermore, the hunter training period in South Africa is within 6 to 12 months to ensure the safety of the hunter. Against the breathtaking backdrop of the South African winter, a lone hunter prepares for the ultimate test of patience and skill. Overlooking a vast valley set between rugged mountains, the hunter has only one target in mind: a baboon. Armed with a .50 caliber Seneca Dragonclaw air rifle, he waits in silence, cocks his gun, and prepares to aim for his target. The first baboon of the hunt appears, but it is a very cunning animal, its eyes scanning the terrain as it cautiously descends. One approaches the prey, the tension building as the hunter aims. The air rifle goes off, a single shot echoing across the valley. The baboon falls and the hunter is amazed at the accuracy and power of his equipment. The hunt is far from over. With surveillance cameras confirming heavy activity at the bait piles, the hunters plan to return, eager for another opportunity to match wits with these formidable foes.
Nice.
In another corner of South Africa, the situation took a dramatic turn. Here, a large population of baboons attacked in large numbers, flooding the area with audacity. Unaware of the lurking danger, they focused on feeding, attracted by the meal ahead. They had probably been hungry for days, driven by desperation, until this moment. Hiding in the shadows, a hunter was lurking. This was no amateur. The excitement was building, a tension so thick you could feel it in the air. Every pull of the trigger was precise and uncompromising. There was no room for error. The hunter had hit the target every time he loaded his gun, and this was a huge success on this hunt. If the hunter chooses not to bait the baboons, the strategy hinges on pure instinct. Perched high on the rugged cliff, the hunter surveys the rugged terrain below in heavy air with anticipation. At ranges of 80 to 150 yards, accuracy becomes the ultimate test. The hunter keeps the rifle's sights steady, the slightest twitch of the trigger finger making the difference. Tension builds as the hunter identifies the pack leader as a large figure commanding the pack. The hunter must decide whether to target the baboons crawling over the cliff or to stop their movement across the valley. Each hunt hinges on stopping the damage that the baboons cause. For many years, baboon hunting in South Africa was dominated by firearms, with reports of large numbers of baboons being knocked down each year across areas such as Limpopo and Mpumalanga. However, between 2010 and 2020, a major shift occurred as traditional bow hunting became more popular. Seasonal reports show that by 2018, over 60% of baboons hunted, a total of nearly 1,200 were hunted, with bows reflecting an evolution in hunting methods. This trend represents more than just a cultural resurgence, it also represents a greater focus on precision. hunting authorities have adopted sterilization as a humane alternative to control baboon populations, while still maintaining hunting regulations. Watching a veterinarian at work shows the responsibility they have in preventing baboon attacks. They are carefully anesthetized, and then a skilled team performs the delicate procedure with precision and safety. They are then tagged for tracking before being released back into the wild. On the quiet streets of South African townships, baboons have become a symbol of trouble and tension. Once thriving in the wild, these intelligent creatures now roam residential areas, rummage through garbage, and even break into homes. Hunger and the lure of easy food make them bolder, climbing walls, sneaking through open windows, and vandalizing kitchens. The boundaries between wild nature and human territory are blurred and conflicts are deepening. These animals, once symbols of natural beauty, are now seen as a threat, forcing locals to resort to harsh measures such as hunting and culling. Large machines work tirelessly to clear land for development. But then the baboons lose their food source and natural habitat. Deforestation quickly pushes them into human settlements for food and shelter.
Wild boars have become one of the most destructive invasive species in the United States. Their populations have skyrocketed from 2 million in 1990 to nearly 9 million in 2019, spreading to at least 39 states. These invasive species cause massive crop damage, estimated at $1.5 billion per year. Because they reproduce so quickly, at least 60% of a given area's population must be culled each year just to stop further growth. If we don't act now, the problem will only get worse. These boars are reproducing at an uncontrollable rate. In response, the USDA and many state agencies have allocated millions of dollars in funding, with Texas and Oklahoma approving poisons like kaput in 2024 to control populations. One of the most widely used strategies is cage trapping, but the problem is that many farmers don't use traps effectively, which wastes effort, and the clever invasive species quickly learns to avoid them. Let's break down the process and find the mistakes that keep farmers from getting the results they want. Wire cage traps are the most effective and widely recommended traps for large-scale boar control. At 30 to 40 feet in diameter, they can capture an entire herd of wild boars at once, reducing the chance of the boars escaping and learning to avoid the trap in the future. The trap should be at least 5 feet high to prevent boars from jumping out. The gate should be remotely activated rather than manually closed, which increases the likelihood of capturing a herd rather than just a few individuals. Steel plate walls should be used rather than weaker materials, as wild boars are very agile and can escape poorly reinforced traps. A well-built trap is useless if it is placed in the wrong location. Research from Texas A&M has shown that trap success depends a lot on trap placement. The best place to set a trap is near a water source. Placing the trap nearby will increase the success rate. On high-traffic boar trails, look for signs of boar activity such as uprooted soil, rolling areas, and hoof prints. Pre-baiting the area 3 to 7 days before setting the trap gives the boars more confidence, making them more likely to enter the trap without hesitation. This technique increases capture rates by 60%. Corn fermenters mix the corn with water and leave it to ferment for 7 days. Wild boars love the strong smell. Watermelon, peaches or apples are good, especially in the warmer months. Specialized wild boar attractants that are high in protein can be very effective in attracting larger groups.
Right.
One of the biggest mistakes farmers make is setting traps without observing the behavior. Wild boars are nocturnal, meaning they are most active between 8 PM and 4 AM. Therefore, keep the traps open for the first few nights to allow the boars to feed comfortably inside. Once at least 80% of the wild boars are inside, activate the remote gate to maximize captures. If only a few wild boars are caught, the survivors will continue to breed and return in larger numbers. A common mistake that ruins traps is setting traps too early. If the boars sense danger before they trust them, they will never return. Leaving a boar in the trap for too long will send out an alarm signal warning others to stay away. This is why it is important to be responsible for collecting the traps after they have been caught. Moving the traps every few months will prevent them from learning avoidance behavior.
Yeah.
Keep going.
The hunters in Mississippi are striking back harder than ever, driven by the urgent need to protect their land. Equipped with thermal scopes and accompanied by working dogs, they track down 200-pound wild boars, causing serious damage in the swamps. these invasive creatures are tearing apart the very land that farmers depend on. They erode riverbanks, destroy native plants, and devastate ecosystems. And the cost? Last year, one county alone suffered $2 million, 0 cents in damages, from this relentless invasive species. With over 200,000 wild boars running through the state, wild boar hunting has become a crucial response as farmers lose $60 million, 0 cents every year.
Yeah, I'm ready. Drop them.
The anger and frustration of watching their livelihoods destroyed by these invasive species are overwhelming. In response, the law supports wild boar hunting, allowing hunters to track these animals day and night on private land without needing a license. However, the state doesn't show leniency when it comes to the rules. Transporting wild boars from one area to another is illegal, as it could spread these invasive species to new areas, causing even more destruction. The fine of up to $1, 0 cents, serves as a deterrent to prevent illegal transport and the spread of wild boars. America's best defense? Wild boar hunting at night. High-tech devices detect the heat signature of wild boars in dense forests, allowing hunters to strike with pinpoint accuracy. Armed with rifles like the AR-15 and loaded with .308A ammunition, hunters can take down a 300-pound wild boar with a single shot. In 2024, hunters in one county took down 200 wild boars in just 1 month, saving a field from destruction. Mississippi law doesn't require permits on private land, so anyone can join the wild boar hunting effort to protect the land. After years of research, Mississippi has found the perfect duo to combat wild boars: Catahoula hounds and advanced drones. The dogs excel in wild boar hunting, tracking these animals through dense brush, while drones with thermal cameras pinpoint boar hideouts from above. In 2025, a new law could allow hunters to shoot from the sky, revolutionizing wild boar hunting. But safety is crucial. Clear communication, proper shooting techniques, and equipment checks are essential. This innovative approach blends technology and tradition to protect Mississippi's land and communities. Do you support this? Hit the like button if you do! Yet, the debate rages on. Should hunting be the solution, or is it cruel? Last year, a farmer in Yazoo County, Mississippi, lost $15,000, 0 cents, in replanting after wild boars tore through his soybean fields. This issue is more than just an environmental concern, it's about survival for those who rely on the land. So, what's your take? Should we continue fighting back? Or is there a better way? Drop your thoughts below. This conversation is heating up.
Should be there.
While we are facing threats from nature, no one expected that feral boars have been silently ravaging the land of Texas for nearly 20 years, causing immeasurable damage to agriculture here. the same time, invasive species are ravaging the land, causing disease and threatening the survival of many plants and animals in the area. With their rapid reproduction rate and strong survival ability, traditional methods are no longer enough to control them. In the past 20 years, the damage has reached $275 million, 0 cents, in Texas alone. And this number continues to increase by 50% compared to 2024, creating an increasingly tense and fierce battle. Have you ever imagined wild boar hunting from the air? In Texas, this hunting strategy is becoming the leading solution to deal with wild boars. And it is surprisingly effective. The helicopters used in this hunting operation are equipped with advanced technology such as thermal cameras and can fly at high speeds of up to 160 mph close to the ground, helping hunters detect and destroy targets quickly and accurately. In just a few minutes, the aircraft can fly over more than 300,000 acres of farmland and forest where wild boars hide. With an automatic gun equipped with a holographic sight, the hunter can shoot accurately from a long distance, ensuring that there is no room for error. Everything happens quickly, and with just one accurate shot, the prey is immediately taken down. Is this the ultimate effective method of controlling wild boars?